Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Football Fignuts podcast. This is season 7, believe it or not, episode 4. If you count all of them, it's 279 episodes. I'm Craig.
And my name is Britt. And Craig, we are joined tonight by one of our contributors. Everybody, please welcome back our good friend Sean.
Woo!
Hello, everybody.
And we are here tonight. The three of us are here to talk about wide receiver rankings for 2023. The Cinch could not join us tonight. He had a prior engagement. And next week is his birthday, so I don't know if we're going to have him next week either, but we're going to do our best.
Yeah.
Because next week's the big tight end kicker defense
that's the biggest episode of
extravaganza.
the season, actually, I think.
It's the closest thing we have to a lightning round in this podcast, because it's literally, who do you like at tight end? Too late! Because we try to fit it all into one episode. So, but I got ahead of ourselves. Let's begin where we always begin. Let's start with Sean. Sean, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, since the pages have turned to August, and we all know that it's just gotten earlier and earlier, and it's now pumpkin season.
Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
Pumpkin spice, pumpkin beer. So, in honor, I am drinking Carnival of Horrors Pumpkin Imperial Stout by Lone Pine in Portland, Maine.
I have never had that.
Wow.
We were Portland.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to Portland this fall.
I know.
We might have to go to this Lone Pine place. I need some research done. Does Lone Pine place have a tasting room?
I don't know.
All right, you've been assigned this. By next week, I want a full report.
So,
Oh.
just to give you a little info, it is a stout brewed with pumpkin pie filling, maple syrup,
Wait,
brown sugar,
Wait,
cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, allspice, and vanilla.
nutmeg. Wait,
Named
wait,
after our state, or our state's named after Nutmeg.
wait. Did
Yeah.
you say pumpkin pie filling?
Oh yeah, I did.
So is this a dessert beer? Or is it just kind of
definitely-
spicy? Like, can't think of a pumpkin beer off the top of my head.
It is. I wouldn't obviously have it with any kind of food. It's just too sweet for that, but it's
Okay.
not as sweet as you think it would be. Hearing all that, it's actually got a nice little balance. I do still taste the coffee notes from a stout.
Is it as sweet as Two Roads Italian rainbow cookie?
Oh,
No.
Jesus.
No, definitely not that sweet.
That's one of the sweetest non-fruit beers I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, I still have a can of it because I can't drink the whole thing. I like it, but I cannot drink an entire can of it.
Oh, my God. Craig, what are you drinking tonight?
So tonight I have another beer by Athletic. This is a red IPA. This is Sunset Stoke red IPA. I've enjoyed this one so far. It's one of their, the rotating beers, but it's not one of the pilot program ones. So if you got it, it actually has like a real label. It's not just like writing on a can.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this has a little bit of a stone fruit in it and some they actually mentioned something else in here. Subtle malt, which I didn't get a lot of, but I did get some of the stone fruit. So yeah.
You're on the wagon this week, huh?
Yeah, my allergies are just like kicking my ass, so
Oh, my God, right?
they're just terrible. Thanks, global warming.
As soon as the freaking thunderstorm stopped and the humidity dropped here in Connecticut, all of a sudden it was like, the plants were like, it's still spring, right?
Yep. And then
Oh,
if you're allergic to like dust and mold, which like damp weather, then that makes it even more fun.
Yeah, there's no relief for you in that situation. I was watching
No.
the news the other day, and they now, because obviously allergies are so prevalent, they cover the major allergens in the air.
Mhm.
And it was like the day after, we had a stretch here in Connecticut of high heat and humidity. Nothing like's going on in Arizona and Texas, but listen, you chose to live in Arizona and Texas. You've already made a bunch of bad decisions. But here it was nasty, and it broke. And they were like, the main pollutants today, ready for this, are grass and plantains.
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 And I'm like, I don't know a single plantain tree in our entire freaking state. We are not the right climate to grow plantains.
No. I mean, you can eat them here, but you definitely don't know. I don't think you can grow them.
Oh yes, there's multiple cultures in this area that love plantains. My first job was bagging plantains for a grocery store.
Go for some fried ones right now.
Yeah, I mean they're I'm not never been a fan of it, but I'm also not a big banana fan. But yes, I mean I was just like plantains.
That's new.
Practice? Talk about practice. I am drinking get ready, Avenue of the Pines from Northway Brewing.
Special delivery.
Special delivery. Many thanks to one of my many secretive mules who just happened to be in the Saratoga area this past weekend. And I literally said to her, here's $50. As much Avenue of the Pines as this will buy, shove into your trunk. And she couldn't get to Northway herself, but they stopped on their way out of town and they went to a package store, and she said she walked to the shelf and she saw a 1 4-pack. So she grabbed it. She walked to the front and said, "Do you have any more of this?" And he said, "I've got 1 more 4-pack in the cooler." So she went and grabbed it. And she looked at him and said, "Are you sure this is all you have?" And I was like, I appreciate the effort. You went all out. So I am very happy I have an Avenue of the Pines tonight. So, which is great because it's time to talk about wide receivers, guys.
Dun dun dun.
Probably Sean's specialty in terms of fantasy awareness. Sean knows a lot about a lot, but he seems to always come through really strongly on the wide receivers. But before we get there, just like with our running backs, I have an advanced data question for the two of you.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Of the wide receivers last year that had a minimum of 25 targets, wide receivers only, mind you, only 3 guys caught double-digit touchdowns.
Ooh. Okay.
Now, that's easy. If you just look up standard sets, I could just look up how many touchdowns that guy had. Okay, that's easy.
Yep. That's
of
easy,
those 3 guys, only one of them had a catch rate under 60%. Can you tell me the one football player in 2022 who caught less than 60% of his targets and still managed to have double-digit touchdowns? And you each get 3 guesses, alternating. Who wants to go first?
So, wide receiver who caught double-digit touchdowns but less than 60% catch rate.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to think of
And now
players who caught double-digit
this
touchdowns.
Regular season only.
Regular season only receiver. We're not no tight ends, right? It's just
no
receivers.
Tight ends. She says a wide receiver.
All right. I'm gonna go with, because he was in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna go with AJ Brown.
Okay, that is incorrect. AJ Brown actually did have 11 touchdowns, but he caught 64.7% of his pass attempts.
Okay. All right.
Sean.
Okay.
I swear to God, if I find out either of you are looking up the 3 guys who had double-digit touchdowns just to make sure you can't lose this, I'll kill you.
There was only 3 guys with double-digit touchdowns?
Only 3 guys. There were 4 guys that had 9.
Oh, boo.
But only 3 of them got to double digits.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain because, doing these mock drafts and best balls, I look up, you go to their profile and it has right there how many touchdowns they had last year, and I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm gonna guess that Justin Jefferson was one of them, but I'm gonna say he probably caught more than 60%. So I'm gonna say, who had a good stretch there? That drops balls a bit.
It's only a 45-minute long show. So.
All right. I'm gonna go with CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb actually only caught 9 touchdowns last year, so he's not one of the triple. But his catch rate was 70.4%.
Oh, jeez. Oh, all right.
Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at the list of receivers you sent us here. All right. I'm gonna go with someone who, because I feel like I purposely never want to draft this person again, so I feel like it may be the right answer.
He might be right here.
I'm gonna go with Stefon Diggs.
Stefon Diggs caught 11 touchdowns.
Yeah.
but 71.5% of his pass
Ooh.
targets.
All right.
That's strike 2 on Craig. And literally, you've named everybody but the guy who had double-digit touchdowns last year. Don't look, because it just kills the irony of it.
You know, I want to go because I know he's stone hands, but I don't think he caught double-digit touchdowns. I don't think he had that good of a year.
Go for the gusto.
I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. Mike Evans.
Mike Evans is not even on this list.
Get out.
Okay.
Mike Evans. What?
Oh, there he is.
Well, because he doesn't drop. He drops a lot of balls. He drops a lot of passes.
Mike Evans caught 6 touchdowns last year.
Uh,
And Sean's right. Only 62.6% of his targets.
mm-hmm.
That's worse than DK Metcalf. And I always felt like DK Metcalf had a lot of drop passes last year. All right, so that's 2 strikes on each. You each have one last guess.
All right. Let's see here. I don't think it's Hill.
The funniest part of this is Sinch is going to be listening to this in his truck tomorrow and screaming the name.
Oh no,
at his phone.
he's off. He's off. Maybe he won't yell.
He'll be sitting in his backyard with his dog, and he'll be screaming the name at the phone.
All right. I'm gonna go with the receiver I had last year. Now you think I would say like Jamar Chase, but I don't think he caught more than 10 touchdowns.
Hmm. Well, it's at least 10. So somebody who caught exactly 10 would qualify.
Oh, I'm gonna go with someone they tried to get the ball to a lot on his team. I'm gonna go with Davante Adams.
Davante Adams is correct. Davante Adams caught 14 touchdowns on 169 targets with 100 receptions for a catch rate of 59.2%.
Wow.
169 targets. All right, so let me sort this list by targets.
Okay.
The only person targeted more last year than Davante Adams was Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson was targeted 10 more times, but ended up with almost 293 more yards than Davante Adams. And Davante Adams had a better yards per reception. So when you say they forced the ball to Davante Adams, you are dead right. 59.2. Let's see. I'm gonna sort by yardage really quick. Again, using the Fantasy Points data beta tool. All right, of the folks with the top 10 receiving yards, yeah, nobody else is under 60%. How far down do I have to go? I have to go to number 14, who is 1,100 yards for Garrett Wilson, to find anybody else under 60%. He was 58.9% of his targets caught. So Davante Adams,
he had a lot of
catches
bad quarterback play.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, think of those two teams. So the lesson here is if Davante Adams catches the ball, that's great. It's a better than 10% chance it's going to be a touchdown. But he doesn't catch the ball 4 out of 10 times.
Right. Well, let's see what happens with Jimmy this year.
Yeah. So with that being said, it is time, gentlemen, to move on to the wide receiver rankings. So I have in front of me the wide receiver composite rankings. For those of you who are new to this system, Craig, myself, Cinch, and Sean all list out our picks in order for wide receiver, and then we use a just very basic algorithm to figure out a consensus ranking. We invite the source to do this every year. Every year, the source, what was his exact words on wide receiver? Justin Jefferson, everybody else is just a guy?
No, Jamar Chase. It was Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and everybody else.
And everybody else, yeah. So, we don't incorporate his numbers into this.
It would skew the numbers a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a good standing rule is if you can't give me 10 names, you're not really doing a ranking. Yeah. So all right, so they have just seen these numbers in the last few minutes, and Sean is participating by phone tonight, so he can't see these numbers at all at the moment. So let's just go over the rank.
Hello?
Let's go.
Hello? Yes?
Hello?
Hello? Did we lose you? You're still here. Uh-oh.
He's gone.
He's gone. Oh, no.
He's gone. Laura, can you see what happened to Craig? Thanks. Not Craig. I'm sorry, Sean. Oh, he's back?
He's back.
Hello?
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 We're doing it live, folks. I'm not editing this out.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there.
Well, we're on number 20, DeAndre Hopkins. What were your thoughts on number 20? You missed the first 19, and I'm not repeating them. Okay, let's go. All right, so that joke landed like a thought. All right, anyway. Our top 5 we are all on the same page about. Oh, and by the way, we do not discuss who ranked who where. We save that for the round tables so I can turn them all on each other in a massive Thunderdome like blood sport. Our consensus number 1 is Justin Jefferson. Everybody has him at number 1. I think, honestly, we'll talk more. We'll talk in depth. We won't talk in depth, but we'll talk about this briefly. The biggest thing hampering Justin Jefferson is the fact that Kirk Cousins is throwing him the football. Does anybody else see any reason why Justin Jefferson, other than injury, shouldn't be good this year?
Yeah, I mean, their running game is going to change, but I don't think it's going to matter that too much for him and his stats.
Sean?
I mean, it would be the complementary wide receivers, I think. I mean, I know last year Thielen was there. Hawkinson was only there for the first 8 games, something like that, before he got traded. But it's gonna. I think. I mean, if you're double, triple teaming him because there's no one else to throw to, it's gonna be difficult.
That's fair. Interesting.
So Addison has really gotta. The rookie has got to really step up here because they don't have very much else.
And we don't have Addison very high. I actually have drafted him in the Scott Fishbowl mirror way higher than we have him. So, interesting factoid, Kirk Cousins, over the last 5 years, because he's been in Minnesota for 5 full seasons now. Over the last 5 years, if I said you had to average his total touchdowns, what do you think he's averaging a year in passing touchdowns, roughly?
Jefferson?
No, Kirk Cousins.
Oh, Kirk Cousins.
Average?
Yes.
I'm going to say 30. No.
30? Sean?
I'm going to go with the last how many years?
5.
5. I'm going to say 27.
Well, that's oddly specific. 30.
He's 30?
Averaging 30. The Guru was talking about it today on his show. 30 touchdowns. Now, how many quarterbacks do you think in the National Football League, and they didn't have an exact answer for this, but maybe Mahomes, because Mahomes had that one big year. He had the 50-plus year. Allen has been pretty consistent in the 25 to 35 range. Aaron Rodgers had that one really big year, but he's also faced a little bit of injury on the front end of that span. So when you get down to it, Cousins is pretty serviceable. And if Cousins is serviceable, then Jefferson is dangerous. So I sit here and I joke about how much I dislike Cousins, but Jefferson's a solid 1. I think most people are going to have him at 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, rest of the top 5. Jamar Chase at number 2 because Craig is a homer. Number 3 is Tyreek Hill. Shocking to me that Tyreek Hill was number 3. One of us, and we'll find out the round table who, rated him outside the top 5, and he still made it to number 3. Cooper Kupp is number 4, but while I said his name, he got injured. It's a Beetlejuice thing. If you say his name enough, he suffers an injury. And then number 5 is the previously aforementioned Davante Adams. So here's where I go with it. We all know that Justin Jefferson is the consensus 1. But you got to take a wideout, and both Chase, Hill, Kupp, and Adams are all there. Sean, give me the one you want out of those 4. Chase, Hill, Kupp, or Adams?
I'm definitely going to go Chase.
Even with the Burrow injury?
Even with the Burrow injury, it's not going to be crazy. I know he's fallen in some best ball drafts. Oh, my God. Something happened. But he's going to be fine. I mean, I have more concern with Hill and Kupp. Hill, because if Tua goes down, who's throwing?
Mike White.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is Mike White the backup there?
Yeah. Might be. And then Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's already injured.
He's literally already injured. He hurt his hamstring.
So
they just tweaked it while we were talking.
And Davante Adams, I have concerns about his supporting cast. I mean, Jacoby Myers, and then Garoppolo. I mean, come on. So definitely Jamar Chase.
Craig, the one you want. And if you say Jamar Chase, I'm going to reach through this microphone and punch you.
Well, I mean, then we should just skip me then.
Okay.
So
why is the answer Jamar Chase? Let me rephrase my question.
Same reason. If you look at the connection between him and Burrow, and then compare that to, like Sean said, is Tua going to make it past week 3? Nobody knows. So that's a big concern. And like we just mentioned, Kupp is literally already injured, and we're not making that up. And then Devontae Adams has a new quarterback with, and who knows how that's going to go. And he does have a rookie tight end there too. So I don't know. I like Jimmy Garoppolo. I really thought he was going to stay in New England, but I don't know how he's going to be in Vegas. I don't know how he's going to be with Devontae Adams. So it's a lot of question marks. And I think Chase is the one that doesn't have a question mark.
I think he's going to be really good in Vegas. That being said, my choice is Tyreek Hill because Hill has just shown he can work with anybody. And I'm not, and again, this is presuming that Tyreek Hill does not go to prison because in the last week there was video surfaced that showed him clearly aggressing against a security guard in a marina, and the video is way more damning than the audio clip we had a couple years ago of him threatening his then girlfriend slash mother of his children. Have you guys seen this video?
I saw it. What is
he
it?
Reaches
with,
around
ex-chief players in videos.
Yeah, seriously. He reaches around his bodyguard as they just pass this guy to take a swipe at him. It is clear. I don't care. And it doesn't look like they exchanged any words. It looked like Tyreek Hill was pissed off and he wanted to lash out, so he lashed out. And then he came back for him. Again, if Kareem Hunt just stays in the hotel room.
Yep. Exactly.
3 things I know. Tyreek Hill should have not swiped at that guy. Kareem Hunt should have stayed in the hotel room. And if Woody had gone straight to the police, none of this would have ever happened.
That is true.
And if you're old enough to know that reference, you're old as shit. So Tyreek Hill's the one I like there. And I'm going to lead off the second part of the question is, which one are you avoiding? I'm avoiding Cooper Kupp for exactly the reason. Every time I draft Cooper Kupp, he gets injured badly. If I ignore Cooper Kupp, he has a great year. And I just want the best for the guy. So I'm just going to avoid him this year and hope he stays healthy. I'm going to throw it back to Sean with this question. So which of those 5, Chase, Hill, Kupp, Adams, are you avoiding at all costs?
Oh man, I got to flip a coin between Kupp and Adams because, I mean, I'd agree with you in Kupp, just because of the
injury history is too much.
The injury history has just been too much. When he's on the field, he's great. I mean, last year he was on pace for like the 4th best receiving season ever, and then he got hurt. So,
Craig, really quick, who are you avoiding at all costs?
I agree with the two of you. It's going to be Cooper Kupp for those exact same reasons. Injury, the Rams are completely rebuilding, and Matt Stafford. So,
well, I'll say this: in our live league that we're all in together, feel free to draft Cooper Kupp because if you do, he's going to be fantastic. It's only when I pick him that bad things happen. All right, so back to the listings. Number 6 is Stephon Diggs. One contributor rated him at 10th, and that's why he is so far down. We'll find out who in the roundtables. Number 8 is AJ Brown. Number 9 is CeeDee Lamb. Number 10 is Garrett Wilson. Isn't Garrett Wilson already hurt?
Minor ankle injury.
Yeah, minor. Very minor.
Okay. I'm going to finish off the top 15. Jalen Waddle comes in at number 11. Number 12 is T. Higgins. Number 13 is Chris Olave. Number 14 is Devontae Smith. And number 15 is DK Metcalf. So let me run down those 10 names again. And I'm looking for one guy you guys like to grab, say, 3rd or 4th round if they fall that far.
How
far?
List
again. What's that?
How far?
3rd or 4th round?
No.
Hello?
None of them are fall. I don't think any of them are falling that far.
Hello?
Wow.
Well, you don't know about that. If you're in a running back heavy league, there's a pretty good shot that somebody outside that top 15 is going to drop outside the 3rd round.
Or a 10-team league.
Or a 10-team? Well, 10-team league, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Stephon Diggs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, C.D. Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgs, Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, or DK Metcalf. You can only target one. Who are you going for, Craig?
My first choice would be AJ Brown.
Okay, why?
I think he's after last season. He showed the kind of receiver he could be, and he's on a. They're going to have a harder schedule this year, obviously, but I just think he has the right ability to keep it up. And
Did he change teams?
no, he's still an Eagle.
No.
Oh, he's still an Eagle. That's right. God, last year he was a Tennessee Titan in 2021.
Yeah.
I'm sitting
So,
there thinking to
I have no
myself,
concept of time either, so you're good.
I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you're giving Tannehill a lot of credit here, Craig.
No.
Sean, off that list, who do you like?
To be different, I'll go Stephon Diggs. I mean, I know he's angry at the organization, his usage and stuff like that, but in the end of the day, I think he just wants to win so bad he's gonna do the best, and that offense is still very potent. So
You're gonna take Diggs over CD Lamb?
It's a toss up to me, actually.
I know where to rank CD Lamb.
Yeah, I know. I did rank him higher than Diggs. But I don't know. I think it just depending on the day, it's a flip cost between them two. So right now, today, it's Diggs. Maybe by draft day, it's CD Lamb if I had the choice of the two.
If I remember correctly, when I asked for these to be in, was right in the middle of that Stephon Diggs might or might not show up drama.
So yeah, I think that might have dropped me down.
So I have to give some grace there. For me, I'm going to go against my own rankings too because I think Diggs is too easy an answer. I am intrigued to see what Amon-Ra St. Brown does this year. Intrigued by it. It is going to be fantastic, or it is going to be nothing. But I just. He's had a full year with God. Why am I drawing a blank on the quarterback there?
Goff.
That's right. It's Detroit. He's had a full year. Here's what I'm gonna tell you right now. If you get Amon-Ra St. Brown early, you get him in the draft and you have him, you do not hesitate to trade him in week 2 because he is going to light up the Kansas City Chiefs secondary. The Kansas City Chiefs secondary is already based on voodoo. Okay, there are fried chicken sacrifices a la Major League happening in that locker room before the game and at the half, and it's very possible that game is 21-14 Chiefs, but Amon-Ra St. Brown has 5 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Entirely possible.
It's crazy, right? 2 years ago, I was telling you, take this guy as a late round flyer, and now he's a top 10 wide receiver.
And he's got a great name. You just can't argue that. So, yeah, I mean, so listen, if you go with the Amon-Ra St. Brown route, don't hesitate to move him after week 1 because I don't know if he'll be great or not, but I think he'll be great against the Chiefs. He is probably, I don't even know what his salary is on DraftKings right now. It could be $15,000. He's probably a value play.
My only concern is his he's the only show in town. Except Hawkinson is there.
No, he's not. He's in Minnesota.
He's in Minnesota. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
They have the rookie tight end who I think just got hurt.
That's what I meant. Got it. So I messed it up before when I was talking about Minnesota. I'm getting it all confused. Oh my god.
Pulling up the depth chart because I need.
But anyway, there is nobody there. Jameson Williams is the number 2, and he's out for 6 weeks, and he hasn't played a snap yet.
Well.
So. My concern with him is being completely covered, like 2, maybe even 3 people on him because who else they throwing? Laporta, the tight end, the rookie tight end.
Well, Marvin Jones Jr. is there.
Yeah, nice little possession guy, I guess.
So is Josh Reynolds.
Oh boy,
Khalif Raymond.
Ooh yeah.
And I didn't even know he was still in the league, but Denzel Mims is there.
The rise of Mims will happen.
The rise of Mims.
Denzel Mims might be a sneaky Byron Pringle play this year.
He might be. He never, he didn't work out in New York, and maybe he'll work in Detroit.
Maybe that's the play for the opening night. Is Denzel Mims.
Maybe. I mean, the tight end's already injured, so could
The
be.
Chiefs can't cover 2 wide receivers, so if they go a 3 wide out set
One of them's
and
gonna catch
Denzel
it.
Mims is out there,
Yeah.
don't forget too that the biggest problem with the Detroit Lions is we are one bad hit away from the Nate Sudfeld era.
Is he their
So
backup?
yes,
Oh,
and if anything bad happens to him, the third string is a guy named Hendon Hooker,
good name.
who's already listed as out. What's wrong with Hooker?
He was injured in college.
Oh.
So he fell farther than he should have. A lot of people believe he is actually like the third best quarterback in this, or maybe even the second best quarterback in this draft if he had stayed healthy.
And his name is Hooker.
So so they took a flyer on him, but he's not taking over the job soon.
Hendon Hooker. I love that name. It's a great name. All right, we gotta keep moving on this list because we're way off schedule. Okay. So let's round out. Let's talk about 16 through 25. Number 16 is Craig's Cliff guy, and that is Deebo Samuel. Number 17 is Amari Cooper. Who is unknown? Why are you calling my phone? You don't get answered. Number 17 is Amari Cooper. Number 18 is Keenan Allen. Number 19 is Drake London. Maybe good, maybe not. Number 20 is DeAndre Hopkins, which was a large division in our team. We'll talk about that during the roundtable. 21 is Calvin Ridley. Number 22 is DJ Moore. Number 23 is Jerry Jeudy. Number 24 is Christian Watson. And number 25 is Chris Godwin. So a bunch of also rans here. I just want to ask some people. I'm looking at a couple of guys who have been supposedly on the way up, for lack of a better term, like Cooper, Allen, Hopkins, Moore, Jeudy. These are all familiar names to this part of the list. Drake London and Christian Watson are new additions. Are you excited about Drake London or Christian Watson? And if so, why? Let's start with Craig.
Out of those two, I think I would lean more towards Watson. Love has been in Green Bay, so he knows their system. So I think, hopefully, he can just pick it up pretty quickly since he's been there so long. And so I think Watson has a good shot at becoming a sneaky pick.
Okay. Sean, London or Watson? Who you got?
I am going to go... I'm going to go...
He's just going to go.
I mean, I like Watson's upside. I do. Drake London is definitely going to have just the ball fed to him so much. I mean, maybe so is Watson. Oof, it's a tough choice.
Is Drake London going to be the guy who has a 59% catch rate, though? Oh.
I mean, I think I like Jordan Love better as a quarterback than Ritter. So for redraft leagues, I'll go Watson.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so let's round out our top 30. Number 26 is Terry McLaurin. Everybody remember Terry McLaurin?
I remember him.
Number 27 is Christian Kirk. Number 28 is Michael Pittman. Number 29 is Deontay Johnson. Number 30 is Tyler Lockett. Number 31 is Treylon Burks. 32 is Brandon Ayuk. 33, we've got Mike Evans. And 34 is Mike Williams, which rounds out the Mike block. Number 35 is George Pickens. When I look at this list, a couple of names jump out to me. Terry McLaurin, Michael Pittman, Deontay Johnson. These are guys, without having the numbers in front of me right now, we ranked as wide receiver 1 and 2s potentially last year. Pittman was definitely in the top 12 last year. Deontay Johnson was probably right on the cusp of it. Now they're all the way down here in wide receiver 3 rank. Of those 3 guys, McLaurin, Pittman, or Johnson, who do you like to possibly rebound and become to outdo their rank right now? So McLaurin, Pittman, or Johnson, who's most likely to outdo their ranking right now, Sean?
I
don't.
You know, if you to answer the question about why they're down is just look who their quarterbacks are.
That wasn't the question.
I know. I mean, you don't know what Richardson is in the Sam Howell in Washington. Oh, I don't know. Pickett's shown some upside, so I think I'm gonna go with Deontay Johnson here.
As most likely to outplay their current ranking.
Yeah, I think so. I think he can reach that in the top 24 and be that wide receiver too.
Craig, he just picked a Steeler.
I know he did.
Isn't that forbidden here?
You
thought
know
that was
what?
against the rules.
Kenny Pickett has small hands. I don't know.
Hands. Like a carny. All right, so Craig, for you, McLaurin, who was the other guy? McLaurin, Pittman, or Johnson? Which one has the best chance to outplay their current ranking on our sheet?
For me, you know what? I'm gonna buy a ticket to the Eric Bieniemy show, and I'm gonna say Terry McLaurin.
Wow.
If he's gonna prove he is an offensive mastermind, this is his chance to do it. So
I got a bad feeling he's not going to prove anything.
I mean, there's that absolutely could happen. But if it doesn't,
I've had a lot of concerns about this for a while. Every time I was like, "Oh, I can't believe Bieniemy's gotten another head coaching job." I'm like, "Yeah, he's playing with a guy who's a living legend who learned from a living legend himself." I mean, people talk about the trees. Don't forget that Andy Reid fell off of the, oh my God, the Holmgren tree. So, I mean, there's these kinds of things that go back in time. But I look at Doug Peterson when he left the Chiefs to become a head coach, and I feel like he was in a very different place and a more experienced place than Eric Bieniemy.
He was a Chiefs coach? I didn't know that.
Peterson, yeah, he was our offensive coordinator.
Oh, how about that?
Yes. Yeah, he came from the Chiefs before he went to the Eagles and then won a goddamn Super Bowl. You're welcome, Philadelphia. So I want him to succeed, but I'm not sold on it. For me, it's Michael Pittman. I think the guru nailed it this morning. He called Indianapolis last year annoying because they'd be great in one area one week and then terrible the next, et cetera, et cetera. I think Pittman, as long as he stays healthy, has the best chance of those groups. So
he called, if I believe correctly, he called Pittman boring. 99 grabs, but only like 800 something yards or something like that.
Yes, it was during the segment where they talked about players who are boring, but you might still want them. He also talked about Kirk Cousins during that segment. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, on my mirror team for Scott Fishbowl, I have both Joe Burrow and Kirk Cousins. I'm happy. I am absolutely fine with that combo.
Not bad. Not bad.
All right, let's round out our top 40. Number 31, where did I leave off? 30 or 35? I went over 35, George Pickens. 36 is Marquise Brown. 37 is Johan. How do you say Dotson's first name? Is it Johan? I have Jahan. Is it Jahan? Jahan, okay. I've never said Dotson's first name. I've just always been like that Dotson guy from Washington. Okay. Jordan Addison, Gabe Davis, and this guy, I'm going to be honest, I didn't recognize this name. I think Cinch ranked him. Smith Najera?
I did too.
You did?
Jackson Smith Najiba.
All right, so tell us about this kid.
He's supposedly the one of the very or best college rookies coming out. So
no wonder I don't know him. He's a rookie. I'm so bad with college players.
Exactly. If he gets the opportunity, I mean, he's got to climb. He's gonna be the number 3 because you got Lockett and you've got oh my God, TK. So
there you go.
He's gonna be the number 3 there. And it's just gonna be if he can get enough volume, I think. So I mean,
he's a Seahawk.
He's gonna have to either outplay Lockett or there's an injury. But if he gets the opportunity, he can definitely be up there.
He's the third option on a Pete Carroll passing attack.
Yeah, I know.
The end.
But hey, they have no running backs now, so you never know.
So before we move on to final thoughts here, we've named 40 wideouts. There's obviously guys that you ranked or like that we didn't discuss. Can you think of one name we didn't discuss that you're like, you guys are going to regret not ranking this guy? And I'll open it to the floor to have a second to think about it.
Not ranking the guy at all?
Yes, he did not appear in our top 40.
Okay.
A name outside our top 40.
That's a good question.
I just thought this up. I'm doing this on the fly. So I don't, for me, it's probably Zay Flowers. I think Zay Flowers is going to have a decent year. Oh, your son Zay Flowers is going to be good. No, I said he's going to be our wide receiver 3 good, and I think he's worth a late round flyer. I did not say he would be good. Kadarius Toney is also in that category for me. Kadarius Toney, if I can get him in round 13 or 14, I'm fine with it. Like, he's my wide receiver 5 or 6, way down on my depth chart, because the guy gets hurt all the time, but he's also in the most prolific offense we've seen in the last decade. So something's got to give.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't spend a decent pick for him, but if he's sitting in there, he might be my new Byron Pringle.
I thought you said Mims is your new Byron Pringle.
Well, for daily he would be. Yes,
I got you.
For season long, the guy I take like with the last round because he's just sitting there and you never know.
Yeah,
might be Kadarius Toney. Now again, that guy you take with the last pick, he's a great, brilliant pick until 3 guys get hurt week 1, and you go to the waiver wire and you're like, well, somebody's got to go. And so
that's true.
So what about let's go to Craig. Craig, give me a name we haven't discussed that you're like, this guy could be, rosterable.
I know you're not big on them this year, but I think if he's there, you would definitely want to look at Alan Lazard this year.
We did not discuss Alan Lazard.
He's following his quarterback, Hackett. I was going to say Buddy Hackett. Hackett's Nathaniel Hackett is their offensive coordinator now, so I think Lazard has a good shot. I mean, he's not going to outdo Garrett Wilson, but
well, is he?
I mean,
listen. With that particular quarterback, familiarity is key, right?
That is true.
This is a guy who was like, you need to get me Randall Cobb back. No, throw to the other guys. No, I'm not going to throw to the other guys. You need to get me Randall Cobb back, like 3 years ago.
And he threw to him.
Yeah. Now, he targeted Randall Cobb 12 times for 2 receptions, but
still,
yes, he likes to target folks that he is familiar with. So I can see that. Sean, a name we didn't talk about, but you're kind of interested to see what happens.
I actually have 2.
I gave him too much time to think.
They're actually they're on our list, but a little further down. They're after 40. But Cortland Sutton and Elijah Moore are both guys that can definitely outplay their ADP. If Sean Payton can fix Denver, Cortland Sutton's gonna be a big part of that. If Deshaun Watson can get back to what he was before, fondling women in a massage parlor, then Elijah Moore can be he's a good receiver.
Is he?
I believe so. He was good 2 years ago.
He was the only guy on a bad team. Name any other Jet receiver on that team.
2 years ago? I don't know. But I can remember Elijah Moore.
Barrios.
Yeah, okay.
It's great, Barrios. All right, so if you had to pick one, who do you like?
If I had to pick one, I would probably go Sutton.
Okay. So, gentlemen, we are just about out of time. Let's go to final thoughts. Sean, lead us off. What's your final thought on the wide receiver pool or this week, whatever floats your boat?
What it is that you keep hearing about all these guys. Oh, they're having a great camp. They're having a great camp. But you know what? Yeah, you hope they're having a great camp because they're thrown against in no pads and shorts and no defense. Don't take too much stock into it. Don't. These guys are some guys raising an ADP because they're having a great camp. Exactly. So
everybody looks great until they get punched in the mouth.
Just be cautious of the great in camp thing. I mean, yes, there's things you got to pay attention to in training camp. Injuries, obviously, but stuff like he's doing great in camp doesn't mean anything.
And before I throw to Craig, let me expand upon that. Don't buy into coach speak.
Oh yeah.
Oh, tell us about Zay Flowers. Oh, Zay Flowers has come in here. He's done everything we've asked him to do. He's going to be a big part of our offense this year. I mean, as long as that guy can stay healthy and stay on the field, I mean, I just see big things for him. And the next thing you know, his ADP is up 12 spots. There's 4 articles on the internet about him, and you're just like, no, don't buy into coach speak. So that goes along with the camp. It's part of the camp thing. All right, Craig, what's your final thought this week?
My final thought this week about receivers is if you're targeting, let's say you make like a little cheat sheet for yourself, you're at your draft, and you're like, I need these 2 guys or my draft is over. Don't think that way because there are a ton of receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you missed the guy that you really, really wanted, don't let it like get to you and be like, oh, my draft is over, because it's not. So
Good. So my final thought is I was having a conversation with Sean on Saturday. Sean was listening to a fantasy football program on his way over to my house, and they were talking about different types of fantasy owners. And one of them was the Hall of Famer, the guy who always takes guys they're familiar with because they trust them, even though they might be past their prime kind of thing. Don't fall into that trap. There is a lot of young talent in the wide receiver ranks. There are very few older veterans in the top 10 or 15, except for maybe Hill or Cup. I guess you consider Diggs a veteran at this point, but it's a young wide receiver has become a young man's game. So don't buy into the thought that, oh my God, I gotta take Tyreek Hill because he's better than Jamar Chase just because he's more experienced kind of thing.
Yeah, that used to be the year 3 rule, the year 3 breakout. That's not thing anymore.
Nope.
It's not. It's rookie in second year.
Yeah, I mean, look at Chase's rookie year. So
yeah, so believe your metrics, follow your own advice, look at those kinds of things. Just as a last note, we have to acknowledge this before we go off the air. The Fignuts family had 2 losses this week. We lost a friend of the program. Our good friend Jeff passed away on Sunday after a brief illness. Often the times I would discuss the show with him, which was not frequently, he only listened to us once in a great while. But when I would discuss the show with him, he'd be like, "You're dead wrong." Like about anything we ever said, did not make a difference. He was a big Eagles fan. If we said we love the Eagles, you're dead wrong about the Eagles. He was the first one to laugh at me when the Eagles won 10 games last year, and I bet on the Eagles to take the under. Jeff, rest in peace. We also lost. Jeff. Yeah, we also lost Pee Wee Herman, which I didn't know Pee Wee personally. What the hell was that? Was that Sean doing a Pee Wee laugh?
That was.
Okay. All right, it was a good attempt. Good attempt.
Yeah.
For all our flaws as humans, he was a very talented man. Very talented man. And, I quickly saw people calling out, well, he got caught with child porn. Those charges were dropped. Guys, everybody's like, oh, yeah, just he had one big scandal. He went to Florida, which is a mistake.
He was in an adult movie theater by himself.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Like folks, in the 80s, that was a scandal. This is 2023. Get over it. So my wife has always been a huge fan. We have to watch every year in this house. I can lower my voice because she hears me, I'll be killed. We are required to watch on Christmas Eve the Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas special. It is required watching in this house. And part of the joke is that when he reads off the list of guest stars that are on the show, I call out whether or not they're dead. Because more than half of them are dead. Like
they're not all dead now?
What's that?
They're not all dead now?
No. Let's see who's still alive. Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Is Cowboy Curtis in it?
He is, and it's Samuel L. Jackson. Not Samuel L. Jackson. It's Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes.
Lawrence Fishburne, and he's still alive. Who else is it that's still alive? Katie Lang sings a song. Who else is in it that's still alive?
I don't know.
I'm just drawing a complete blank. Oh, the mailman was the woman who went on to play the captain on Law and Order. She's still alive, but like half of them are gone. Like Richard, Little Richard is dead. Isn't Little Richard dead?
Yes.
So Little Richard's gone. So. Dinah Shore's dead, but Whoopi Goldberg was on it. She's still kicking. So I'm like, can I really, at the start of this, now that Pee-wee's dead, just point and yell, dead, alive, dead, dead, alive. When they go down the list, it feels really callous. But if I don't do it, I think my family's going to be disappointed. This is how they learn that celebrities die every year, is that I do this. So I won't be able to do that. But yes, that was a big loss. Okay, really quick, before we go, give me one thing Pee Wee Herman was in or did that was not Pee Wee's Playhouse or Pee Wee's Big Adventure that you remember him from.
Pee Wee or Paul?
Pee Wee or Paul Rubens, I don't care. Same guy for the purpose of this conversation.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, of course.
Oh, the best death ever.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was
3 minutes of death.
Oh.
What was that? He was in that Cheech and Chong movie. He was like
in 2 of them.
He was in the front. He was the front desk guy.
Yeah, I think.
And he wouldn't give them their luggage back.
I think that was still smoking, but I could be wrong.
I think so. He was like calling the police, and he's like, "I think they're Iranians."
For me, it's Mystery Men. Did
you
ever see Mystery Men?
Oh, that fucking movie. Oh my god.
We just had a nerve with Craig.
Apparently.
The only thing I remember about that movie after being dragged to it was the stupid scene where what's his name put watermelon on his feet. That is the only thing I remember.
Well, Paul Rubens plays the spleen, whose superpower is he can knock out people with his gas.
Oh my god. Okay.
That movie. Okay, I'm just pulling it up real now. People in that movie: Ben Stiller, Paul Rubens, Janine Garofalo, Greg Kinnear, William H. Macy, Hank Azaria. Oh god, I forgot Hank Azaria was in that. Jeffrey Rush was in it. Oh my god, Kel Mitchell. Let's see who else was in this that we would know. Eddie Izzard, Artie Lang was in it. Dane Cook was in it. Michael Bay, the director. No shit, really? I didn't know that. CeeLo Green was in it as an extra. He plays rapper number 2. Like, there's a lot of people. Dana Gould. Wow, there's a lot of like B-list people in this. But yeah, I remember that's the movie. Other than Tom Waits. Tom Waits, the singer, was in it too. Other than Buffy, that's the movie I always, and obviously Pee Wee's Big Adventure. That'll be the movie I remember him. Never forget, Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Trivia buffs. Was the first score Danny Elfman ever wrote for a major motion picture. And the first time, what's his name, was the director. Oh my god, why am I drawing a blank on him?
The Batman guy. The original Batman director.
Edward Scissorhands, all the Beetlejuice.
You made me forget, damn it.
Tim Burton?
Hell?
There you go. Thank you.
Tim Burton's directorial debut in that movie, too. So... yeah, it's funny. Really, last thing, and then we're gonna wrap up here. But again, he was somebody we talked about a lot in our house. They used to do a live recasting, for lack of a better term, out in California once a year of Nightmare Before Christmas, and they would try to get as many of the cast members to come and do the songs live as possible. The last time Paul Rubens went was 2021. And he wore this ridiculous, silly red wig that basically covered his entire head. And then to find out that he battled cancer for 6 years. Was he wearing that wig because he didn't have any hair and he didn't want anybody to know? You know, those kinds of things you have to wonder after the fact. I'm like, I was watching that video the other day. I was like, holy crap, him wearing that wig suddenly makes sense. So, but you know what else would make sense? If you leave us a review. Wherever you found us, because we're on so many podcast directories, we don't even keep track anymore. Please leave us a review. It'd really help us out. You can also reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you guys. We are on Twitter or X or Twitter X or Twix.
Oh my god.
Twix?
Whatever,
Twix.
Whatever Elon Musk's industrial truth factory is called this week. We're on it.
I like Twix.
Until he steals our handle, we are going to be at Fignuts DFS. Did you guys hear about that, by the way? He decided that @X was going to be their new handle, and he just took it from the guy who had X as his handle for like 12 years.
Oh, good
I didn't hear that part. No.
Like, seriously, throw him a gift or something. Compensate the guy. It said, you know what he got? He got an email saying, hey, by the way, we've taken away your username. Go get another one. Have a nice day. So if you would like your username stolen, please come and twixt at us. At Fignuts DFS. You can also reach out to us on the Facebook. On the Facebook, God, I sound like an 80-year-old. Are you on the Facebook? You can reach us on Facebook. We are the Football Fignuts Podcast on Facebook. And that beer went straight to my head. And if you'd like to reach out to us directly, fignutsdfs@gmail.com. This time of year, we love to get questions in because I can save them for the round table.
Oh, yeah.
And then people
Draft
can
questions.
argue.
Yeah.
You love questions?
Yes, draft questions. Give it to me.
Draft questions for Sean. So, all right, we will be back next week. Next week, guys, rest up. It's the most important episode of the year. It's like tight end, kicker, defensive extravaganza.
That's right. Party. Bring a lot of alcohol.
And if we're done early, which we will be, we could maybe do some draft strategy.
We'll save that for the roundtable. We have never finished. We have never done more than 2 minutes on defenses ever in the history of this podcast.
Yeah.
Never. Like it just doesn't happen. So we can dream. But we appreciate you all listening. Until next week, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And I'm Sean.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast. Hi, Deb.
Bye.